King Abdullah Habeeb, the author of the book It's Time for the Black Man's Revolution: How to Save Nigeria Now for Future Nigerian. In the third episode, I presented a brief of chapter 3 of the book dealing with why the intelligentsia are not participating in governance, essentially because of our money-centered politics and poor political orientation. I now give a brief of chapter 4 titled Public Awareness and Political Accountability. Nelson Mandela, in an interview, was reported to have said, "You know, I am not very happy with Nigeria. I have made that very clear on many occasions. Yes, Nigeria stood by us more than any nation, but you let yourself down, and Africa and the black race very badly. Your leaders have no respect for their people. They believe that their personal interests are the interests of the people. They take people's resources and turn it into personal wealth. There is a level of poverty in Nigeria that should be unacceptable. I cannot understand why Nigerians are not more angry than they are." Clear experience in Nigeria is that just like in the medieval feudal lords and the commoners, situations there in Nigeria are almost where Nigerians are like slaves in the eyes of our rulers. Consequently, these rulers are only accountable to their own desires. They are rulers and not leaders, and so not accountable to us. This is contrary to what democracy stands for. By democracy, it was hoped that the people will have leaders who are accountable to them, since they are the ones who give mandate to them. Governance in Nigeria has failed. It has failed to ensure security, health, social, and economic well-being of the people. Democracy, as adopted in Nigeria, has become a legitimate means of robbing the people of their rights, of genuine representation. The instrument of electioneering as a checkmating process has also failed. And on the side of the electorate, the lack of political awareness and cultural corruption are reasons why they can't hold their rulers to account. If not for lack of political awareness, how can someone who had stolen billions on end buy one over with just 2,000, 3,000? For some reason, electorate give excuses during election, such as, this is the only time we can get them to listen. After the election, we have no power over them. If the people had known the activities of the people in government, or understood the enormity of the crimes and atrocities perpetrated against them, or they know how much of their future and those of their generations unborn that has been mortgaged by those in power, they will have long risen up to put them in check. This was what a newspaper columnist quotes an unnamed House of Representative member friend of his saying, and I quote, "The welfare of Nigerians doesn't count on the all-important issue of governance. Most of the debates that go on in the floor of the houses are mere theoretics. Most decisions are taken during executive sessions, away from the prying eyes of the people. And it all is all about how to share money." So if Nigeria know half of what transpires at the corridors of power, whether in the executive or legislative arms of government, there will be a revolution in this country. And that explains why people kill and maim in order to acquire power in Nigeria. Power means everything. It opens the door to the country steal. Ironically, this enormous power comes without responsibility. I unquote. In response to this, Muhammad Isa, in his book Islam, Nigeria, and the Quest for Justice, wrote, and I quote, Nigerians do know, and this applies to scores of millions of them. The illiterate, the half-illiterate, and the non-literate amongst them know that those who represent them in government are thieves. They know that when their presidents, governors, legislators, ministers, commissioners, and council chairmen and other sundry public office holders and their cronies build stupendous mansions, ride exotic cars, own chains of businesses, eat imported foods and drinks, fly expensive flights, go abroad, and treat common cold and shopping for toiletries, and engage in other sundry acts of insanity, they do so with the money stolen from the public coffers. Unquote. The question then is, if we know, why are we dumbfounded? Simply because treasury looting and other forms of corruption by public office holders have become an accepted norm among the masses, that if they have similar opportunities, they will also do the same. That the masses can't or won't hold leaders accountable because they share the same corrupt mindset is true, but it is not true for the entirety of the Nigerian masses. The larger chunk of the masses is being tranquilized by ignorance. And by ignorance here, we do not merely mean lack of awareness of the existence of corruption in the corridors of power. Yet they know. And it's generally accepted, but that politicians and government officials are corrupt. But do they really know their extent and implication? But over and above the issue of corruption is our ignorance of socio-political and socio-economic realities, our rights and our limitations, the relevant socio-political laws, the powers and limitations of individual offices and government as whole, and the political provisions and processes, the processes of revenue mobilization and allocation, the details of government day-to-day activities, the details of government budget and spending, and so on and so forth. Most Nigerians will never care to know what bill has been passed, what the bill contains, and in what ways that affects the society and consequently their life. Ask an average Nigerian graduate about the revenue allocation from the federal government to his state or local government, or even the budget of his state. The answer is sure to be, I don't know, or what's my business with that? But ask the same person the name and the pet card of a girlfriend of any footballer or a musician in any faraway land, and you'll be sure to get an encyclopedic answer. We're people that are too engrossed with entertainment, even at the total expense of information and knowledge that benefit us. We prefer to waste all valuable time watching Nollywood, Hollywood, Bollywood, Kannywood, Z-World, or playing high-definition computer simulation known as games, or phone chatting, multimedia adventuring on social media, and other forms of pastime. While engrossed in this fickle nonsense, we are oblivious of the socio-political realities and happenings around us. We know almost nothing and care less about government, about governance, and the activities of government. The public office holder knows this very well, this about us, and so they further encourage us and facilitate the need to this social distraction, to keep us at bay. This is how they have succeeded in tranquilizing us for ages and buy themselves the freedom to loot our future and do as they please with the powers in the public office and without check. During electioneering campaign, when politicians should be on the hot seat and be challenged as to why they should not be kicked out of office, we join them to dance on platforms, and that's the only time when they temporarily discard their demigod status. Why is this so? Because they understand the mentality of people they are dealing with, which are entertainment, fun-seeking, and so on and so forth. We have failed to think out of the box to get practical solutions to our real problems. We fail to engage our minds creatively and innovatively to expand our economic opportunities so that we do not have to line up in wait for stipend that the politicians use to buy us up and buy up our rights and hold them to account. We allow public officials to distort and misuse public procedures and instruments for their personal gains and to our own detriment, while we only lament instead of making deliberate and concerted effort to dig deeper into our exploits and confront them. We accept indirect slavery. We are cowards. We display all the attitudes of a captured people. We are so afraid of standing up for our rights. We spare no opportunity to infect those who want to stand up for us with our fear and cowardice. Why will public officials and politicians not dehumanize us and get away with it? Our school curriculum is bereft of socio-political education, and the political elites have ensured that it is kept that way. It is therefore another tranquilizer. On completion of secondary school education, it is expedient that one should be fully aware and trained to be conscious of socio-political environment, political rights and obligations, how governance operates, and its implication on his life. Our civic education has only been geared towards submissiveness and subjecting its citizens to the government, and nothing in the direction of equipping citizens with information and preparing them for political activism in terms of knowledge of socio-political rights and how to demand for them. Should the country fail, these rulers have nothing to lose. They have taken precautionary steps to fortify themselves against the imminent failure of the Nigerian state. They ensure citizenship for their children through birth in other countries. Get the kids educated in Europe and America. Invest Nigerian resources that they have stolen in expensive real estates in several cosmopolitan headquarters of the world. These they have done so that when the ship eventually sinks, they are assured of an escape strategy and safe landing. So it is the poor masses that will sink along with the ship. May God forbid that. Poverty is rising, and we are now referred to as the poverty capital of the world. That will remain so until we change our trajectory by transforming our politics. In the next episode, I will present chapter 5 of the book on the dangers of faulty electoral processes. You can obtain a copy from bookshop around you, or click the link below to obtain a copy from Amazon or Smashwords. Thank you.